Shalom, 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 Israel. First off, giving all honor and praises to the Most High and to His Son Yahweh Shah. Shabbat shalom to brothers and sisters in class. Shabbat shalom to brothers and sisters that are watching online. The name of today's class is In Want of Famine. In Want of Famine. And we want to make sure that we go over this class because we know what's going on in the earth today. We understand about brothers and sisters that are in dire need of having their SNAP benefits cut. But not only that, we also know our people are in dire need in a spiritual want of famine. So we understand that people are not going to come into this truth. So we're looking for brothers and sisters to come in at a large amount. You know, we sadly mistaken. Remember, the Most High God is taking what? Quality over quantity. So we have to always keep those things in mind. That's why we periodically go over these classes to basically put brothers and sisters up on spiritual game, for lack of better words. First precept we want to go to, let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 27 and verse 11. Because we know that these things are going to be a continual cycle on and off the earth. From the time of the beginning, there were famines. And we know that, guess what? The Most High God is winding back up again. Proverbs chapter 27 and verse number 11. Go ahead, Al.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 27 and verse 11. My son, be wise.
So the Most High God is saying, my son, be wise. What is being wise? Keeping the commandments according to the Most High God. According to Psalms chapter 19 and verse number 7. Read on.
My son, be wise, and make my heart glad.
And make the Most High God's heart glad. How do we make his heart glad? By listening to his counsel, keeping his commandments, and having faith in his son Yahweh Shah. Read on.
Come, that I may answer him that reproacheth me.
Read on up.
A prudent man.
A what up?
A prudent man.
Any brother knows the definition of the word prudent. Any brother. Does any brother know the definition of the word prudent? A prudent man is a man that's always looking ahead. Always foreseeing things before they happen. Trying to plan. Trying to make sure that they get their spirit in line for what's about to happen. Because why? Because they always looking ahead. For a brother that's always ahead of the game, you never have to tell him to what? Get ready. He's always looking towards that. Definition of the word prudent. It says acting or showing care and thought for the future. And that's a heavy word, and that's a heavy spirit that us as men need to, guess what? Put into our spirit. We always need to be looking for things toward the future. What future? God's future judgment. On how he's bringing famines in the earth. If you know that the Most High God is bringing famines in the earth, what would you do, Brother Uriah? You prepare. You would prepare. If you know that the Most High God is bringing spiritual famine in the earth, twin, how would you prepare?
Keep the commandments.
Keep the commandments. You want to make sure that you're what? Studied up. Because famine of the word is what? The word being taken away. That's what we be on, brothers. About what is wise. What is wise according to the Bible, Brother Bilal?
Psalms 19 and 7.
Psalms chapter 19, verse 7. That means keeping the commandments of the Most High. So this is what a prudent man should be looking towards, and even with the sisters. Because according to the Bible, the sisters, they are over their household. Or the things that they know that they need according to their house. Things that, guess what? You know you need in your cupboard or in your pantry. You know the things that you need to kind of help your family survive during certain times. And this is attributed to the sisters as well. This is just not a brother's thing or a man thing. This is a nation thing. We all need to be prudent. Read on up.
Come, a prudent man foreseeth the evil.
Foreseeth the what?
Foreseeth the evil.
Read on up.
And hideth himself. But the simple pass on and are punished.
It said, and hideth himself. How can he hide himself? He hides himself by what? Understanding the judgment that comes with being prudent. Understanding the judgments that come with the Most High God's four sword judgments. Who knows what God's four sword judgments are? We just kind of covered this too. Who remembers what the 4 sword judgments are? Bruce should know this. We literally just covered this. That's why brothers need to be what? Prudent. Knowing that we're going to ask these questions. Brothers should have already been locked in Camp 101 Thursday. Should have already been locked in. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel chapter 14 and verse number 21. These are the Most High God's 4 sword judgments. Meaning these judgments always do what? Come back and forth in the earth. Read this out.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 14 and verse 21. For thus said the Lord Yahweh, how much more when I send my 4 sword judgments upon Jerusalem, the sword, and the famine, and the noisome beast, and the pestilence, to cut off from it man and beast.
So the Most High God always brings these judgments on and off the earth. These are conditional judgments, meaning if we keep the commandments, we won't see these judgments. But if we break the commandments, we'll constantly see these judgments. And this is what brothers have to be up on game on, man. Have to be. This is what brothers' study habits have to play a big part. Because they literally are trying to bring about the famine of the word even quicker than we even think. They know they ain't got nothing but a short time. So by us understanding this, we have to up our study habits, man. Let's go back to Proverbs chapter 27 and verse 12.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 27 and verse 12 from the top. A prudent man foreseeth the evil.
Read on.
And hideth himself.
Read on.
But the simple.
But the what up?
But the simple.
Meaning people that don't want to be keeping the God's commandments. Read on.
Pass on and are punished.
And it's a judgment that comes with that. Play that first clip. See this first clip.
You want the job one or the food stamp one?
Yeah, the food stuff.
Fair use.
Fair use. Thanks,
You look like a black bag. Like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you get notifications anytime I go live or make a video. Make sure you still subscribe to this channel. Let's get into this. Let's play the clip of the EBT darling.
Crying about
Crying about.
the government shutting down. They can't get their food stamps and EBT cards instead of getting it up and go getting a job. This is a
brother. We pray that the brother could wake up. Even though we know he's a coon, we know he's constantly going at our people. You know, it's not to say that some of the things that he don't say are not true, but the thing is, he do it to the benefit of white America and to the detriment of his own people. When we are out there speaking to our people, telling them their faults, we are out there telling them, but we're also doing what? Trying to build them back up. He's not doing that. He's not giving solutions to the problem. He's just doing it at the expense of Edomite nations to make himself look good amongst them. Play the video out.
EBT darlings crying about the government shutting down. They can't get their food stamps and EBT cards instead of getting it up and go getting a job. This is an able-bodied man. You can't go get a job, bro. Roll the clip.
I got an email from EBT. I used to get $740 a month for my 2 kids. And we not getting EBT no more. They took the EBT. They saying I gotta work 20 hours a week. I'm not working for nobody. Get the fuck out of here. This is what Americans, taxpayer, work for us. They work for me. They gotta help me.
And even by him just saying that, certain precepts should come out to brothers. What is a precept that should come out to a brother?
If a man don't work, he don't eat.
If a man don't work, he don't eat. Also, a precept that comes to mind is what? In want of all things. Even if you just say the Most High God put the Spirit on him and start his own business, he still have to get those supplies from our enemies. So, brother, it doesn't make any sense how you are able-bodied and not, guess what, going to work to provide for your family. That's a part of the spirit that the Most High God instilled in men. instilled in protective spirits and what providing spirits by us being men. This is why our people need to wake up. That's why it's so needed for us to be out there on those corners. Be, guess what? Examples in our own households. Because how can we teach brothers and sisters these things if we're not doing these things ourselves? Any brother that's not providing for his family is what? Less than what?
Infidel.
An infidel. These things are pivotal for our growth as a nation. Play the video.
Feed my kids. Get the out of here. You know what I'm
This a
saying?
parody,
Like, don't be
bro.
quitters now. Y'all been helping us all this time. Now y'all want to tap out. Get the out of here. I want my EBT, yo. I want my EBT, and I'm not working for nobody. I'm a boss. What the I look like working when the government is here to help?
Brother said he a boss. That's crazy. And a lot of times our people are doing what? Looking for a nation that what? Cannot save them, man. Now this makes no sense what the brother is saying, man. That's why it's pivotal that we do what? Bring out the scriptures to our people, man, and change the hearts and the minds of our people, man. Because the Bible doesn't instill that particular type of spirit, man. The Bible is about what? Brothers being men, sisters being women, and guess what? Us being a nation according to the Bible. Especially us being prudent men, understanding that guess what? You can't depend on Esau, man. What you look like depending on Esau when they done broke every treaty? So come on, man. We got to wake the hell up. Let's go to the book of 2 Ezra chapter 5, verse 42. You get to read that out.
The book of 2 Ezra, chapter 5, and verse 42.
Uh-huh.
And he said unto me, I will liken my judgment unto a ring.
So God's judgments is like a ring, meaning they do what? They go around and they come right back around. Meaning what? These things happen over and over and over again. By us being prudent men and women, guess what? It's our job to always do what? Foresee the matter and do what? Plan for the matter. This is something that us as a nation we lack. Even like brother put in the chat, being slothful. We got to take off that slothful spirit, man. And understand the Most High God has given us an open book. Danger that's coming. And if brothers don't even save their own damn lives, then we don't know what to tell them, man. We don't know.
Come. And he said unto me, I will liken my judgment unto a ring.
Read on.
Like as there is no slackness of the lads, even so there is no swiftness of the first.
Meaning it's a continual cycle of God's judgments going on and off the earth, man. Prime example. When was one of the first famines in the scriptures? Any brother know? When was one of the first? What you got, brother Yazwood? Joseph. That's a great point. Let's get that right quick. And I expect brothers to understand this history. Brothers is reading, taking good notes, periodically going over their Bible, going over classes. Brothers should know these things, man. I don't expect brothers, and to a degree, I don't expect brothers to know all the specific details. But I do expect brothers to know major details. This, what I just brought out, is a major detail in the scriptures, man. Let me see what brother know. Because how many years was the famine? Any brother raise your hand. How many, brother Azariah? 7 years. 7 years. 7 years represents completion. But you constantly see that over and over again throughout the scriptures. Brothers need to know these things, man. Let's go to the book of Genesis chapter 41. Thanks, Alex. No, just get straight to the point. You said 41 and... Yeah, start at verse 20. Start at verse 25.
The book of Genesis, chapter 41, and verse 25. And Joseph said unto Pharaoh, the dream of Pharaoh is one. Yahweh has showed Pharaoh what he's about to do.
So before the Most High God does something, he does what? He tells the prophets about about these things. Just like Christ was continually to tell us in the book of Matthew. Ezra was telling us in the book of Ezra. Job was telling us. All major prophets told us of things to come. Read on up.
Come. Verse 26. The 7 good kinds are 7 years.
Read on.
And the 7 good ears are 7 years. The dream is one.
So we know that the Most High God gave Pharaoh a dream. Showed him 7 good kinds, 7 bad kinds. Representing what? 7 good years of plenteous food. And then 7 bad years of what? Famine. Read on up.
Come. And 7 thin and ill-favored kind that came up after them are 7 years.
Or 7 what?
Or 7 years.
Read on up.
And the 7 empty ears, blasted with the east wind, shall be 7 years of famine.
So that 7 years, you wouldn't even know about the previous plenteous years. That's how drastic the famine was going to be. But the Most High God had a plan, and guess what? Seeing Joseph was a prudent man, Joseph did what? He prepared. This is what brothers and sisters need to be constantly doing with their spirit, as we know that we're going to go into a physical famine as well as a what? A spiritual famine. Brothers and sisters need to be doing what? Preparing themselves. Do brothers and sisters understand that? Read on up.
Come, verse 28. This is the thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh, what Yahweh is about to do. He showeth unto Pharaoh. Behold, there come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt, and there shall arise after them 7 years of famine.
7 years of what up?
7 years of famine.
So even with us today, we know that America has what? Great success. But we know every empire eventually does what? It falls. What brother knows the approximate year, how long a empire lasts? What you got, Brother Bilal?
250.
250 years is the approximate years on how long an empire lasts. And we know that America is coming up on those things. They're quickly coming up on it. Pull it up for me, out.
The other one?
The years of America being in rulership. Years of America. And the thing is, some of these things might be hard to pull up because even their prudent men or their scholars or their philosophers, they understand, they study these things. So they don't want it to be put out there as openly as possible because they understand these timelines as well. Put 250 years of America. Let's see what we'll do it the reverse way. So even in these books, like we say, even down here at the bottom, 250 years of American history, explore 250 years of America from ancient to modern times. So even they understand this. Jump over to 250 years of America's independence. In that box right here, yeah, over. Yeah, right there. Click on that. Go back up. Let's see that over. Yes, that's what I want.
Which one?
That one right there, over in the box. Yeah, down right here. Go back. I want the words. That bottom, yes. It says the United States quincentennial, thanks, also called the bicentennial, the centennial America 250 of the quarter millennium will be the 250th anniversary of the United States Declaration of Independence. So they understand what's going on. It says, leading up to the Declaration's anniversary on Independence Day of July 4th, 2026. So this thing is quickly coming up. And as these things quickly come up, we know that the Most High God is going to be doing what? Quickly speeding up the prophecies. So this is not a coincidence. This is all by design. Go ahead, Al.
So we see how they try to hide our faces from what's going on. The thing about it is, going back to the video where the brother was ignorantly talking about he's a boss and that he wants what's his. That's what America does. They downplay it on our mind to make us stagnant, to want to be able to use them, right? To be needful of them. So in this point in case, the brother was needful of America right now. This is what their whole objective is for us to do. To feel like that we cannot move, progress, or filter ourselves through this life without them. Let's go to Ecclesiastes right quick. And Ecclesiastes is in the Apocrypha, so let's go to Surah chapter 40, verse 28. Surah 40 and 28. And this is what we're doing now. We're trying to make ourselves stronger in the providing aspect so that we can be leaders, so that we won't be stagnant, and that we're dependent on America for us to be what? To live. Read this right quick.
The book of Surah, chapter 40 and verse 28.
Bring it out.
My son, lead not a beggar's life.
So this is a commandment through the Bible that tells us what? Do not live a beggar's life. This goes hand in hand with what? A man that doesn't work is less than infidel, right? Well, the Most High God tells us don't live a beggar's life, because when you do live a beggar's life, what happens? What we just seen. Well, the brother damn near in tears. I'm not working. I'm not working with Sharon. You've been helping us this long. Continue to help us now, right? But that's the opposite of what the Most High God is telling us. That's why we are now trying to put points and understanding inside our nation to show them that we cannot feel stagnant to America or their monetary gain or whatever it is they have. The Bible says, do not live a beggar's life. Read that again.
Come, Surah, chapter 40, verse 28. My son, lead not a beggar's life, for it is better to die than to beg.
And it's better to die than to beg, right? This is going into what? Us what? Being strong enough to go against what the world is pushing right now, right? Even with the woman with the 7 sons, man, it was better for her to die with her 7 sons rather than what? Eat pork. And this instance, the Bible is showing us it is better to die than to be stagnant towards America, man. Read on.
Come, verse 29. The life of him that dependeth on another man's
Read that
table.
again. Read that again.
The life of him
The life of him
that depended
on a what?
another man's table.
On another man's table, man. That is heavy, man. The Bible can't miss. The Bible is a straight shooter, man. It can't miss. The life of a man that depends on another man's table. Read.
Come, is not to be counted for a life.
That's not life. That's right. You're not living at all. 750 for my 2 children in America. You gonna give it to me, Daniel? I want it and I want it now. It's my money and I want it now. That's what the taxpayers do. That's what they work for. That's a beggar's life, man. And that life is not a life at all, man. When you depend on another man's table, when you depend on America to be your provider, your successor, that's the problem that our people are in right now. They feel as if they cannot move or they cannot what? Proceed through life without America's help, man. That's why a lot of times when we talk about us being the greatest, and they always bring up America because they feel like they need America. Don't talk about that white man like that. We need that white man, right? Because we are stagnant to America, man. That's what they put upon us. Continue to read.
It's like the life of him that depended on another man's table is not to be counted for a life.
Read on.
For he polluted himself with other men's meat.
See, now you're polluted with other men's meat. Now you're polluted with other men's customs. Now you're polluted with doing what they want you to do, right? It's all part of the plan of what they're doing. Now you are stuck in America's ways, and be damned if you go back to your own nationality. That's what our people out here doing. They be damned if they go back to what? Working. No, I'm gonna stay here and get these food stamps. What? Sisters wasn't working. No, I got 5 children. Yeah, they paying my rent. Refrigerator full of food, barbecue every weekend. Right? But that's what they play on us. Read on.
For he polluted himself with other men's meat.
Other men's customs, other men's ways.
That's right.
That's why they don't want to be who they are. Read.
Come. But a wise man, well nurtured, will beware thereof.
But a wise man, well nurtured, what is that well nurtured going into? Understanding. Great word. That's exactly what I wanted. But a wise man of understanding, like we are out here doing now, what we are doing now, we understand what's going on. But a wise man of understanding, read,
will beware thereof.
now we beware of this thing. We understand the tricks and their games and how they play on us. Read on verse 30.
Begging is sweet in the mouth of the shameless,
Uh-huh.
but in his belly there shall burn a fire.
So begging is sweet in the mouth of the shameless, man. And that brother had a shameless mouth, man. He didn't care about letting them know that he ain't working, I ain't working, I'm getting $750. And I need that $750, right? That's sweet to him, man. But the belly there shall burn, but now his belly burning, right? Because now what you gonna do for them 2 children? How you gonna make that $750 come to pass now? Right? Y'all been used to big steak and eggs and whatever every morning. Big snacks. Yeah, big lunches. Children going to school, big lunches every day. So now I'm having what, half a sandwich apiece. You know what I'm saying? If you can afford it. So living a beggar's life is the opposite of what the Most High God tells us to do, and we see it. Well, today a lot of people hurt with that, man. I'm gonna tell you, I was blessed to never touch. I always get denied a food stamp, man. I was telling somebody this other day, bro, I got denied every single time. They say, well, go get you some, what they call it? Like emergency.
Oh, yes.
Just tell them that you, I told them. They was like, what did you tell them? What you told me to tell them? Yeah, we struggling. I lost my job. Denied. What the? It was all the Most High God, though, man. I'm glad that he didn't get me stagnant on that, man, because I'm telling you, I'd have been the same one. Talking about, what? 350? Nah, somebody got to talk. We got to talk about this.
And think about it, they have a lot of that money, and a lot of times they're doing what? Buying unclean foods.
Right.
That's right, and that's all praise to the Most High. Go ahead, guys.
Selling them?
Let's get another precept. Let's get another precept. Because what your brothers have right there, I need brothers to be prudent upon these things, man. Put your keywords up in there, man. Beggars. Brothers need to have that keyword put in. If brothers not putting words that you know, when you get to that particular part, to familiarize yourself with, brothers need to get up on it, man. Brothers got to be. Another precept for the same thing. The book of Sirach, chapter what?
29.
18, but yes, also. Sirach chapter 18, verse 33. Remember, any beggar precepts fall under that category. Make sure brothers, remember, man, this is your sword. So only you know how you like your sword. So a brother may sharpen his sword this particular way. I like cutting on this side. Right. So I'm going to sharpen the blade more so on this side. It's the same thing with your Bible. I know that, guess what? This side is on the side of this Bible. I'm more fluently on this side. So you want to make sure that you are taking notes according to how you understand it. Sirach chapter 18, verse 33. Read that out.
Come. The book of Sirach, chapter 18 and verse 33. Be not made a beggar by banquet upon borrowing, when thou hast nothing in thy purse.
When thou hast nothing in thy purse, because even like Captain Yara was just going over, these things make our people complacent and stagnant to where they won't do for ourselves. Read on up.
For thou shalt lie in wait for thy own life and be talked on.
It says, for thou shalt lie in wait for thy own life. Now you got to wait on them to sustain your life. And then read that last part again.
And be talked on.
And be talked on. Meaning what? Gossip about. What did we just see the brother Officer Taylor doing? Talking on his own people. And we understand that. Because remember, we up under the curses. We up under the curses, but the difference between us and him, we trying to build our people up, and he just doing it for views and to be liked among Edomites. No, we could care less about those nations. We care about our people and stopping them from that slothful spirit that they have. Let's go back to the book of Genesis, chapter 41. Jump down to verse 53, y'all. So remember, we see famines throughout the scriptures plenty of times, man. These are things that rules have to be proven on. Genesis chapter 51 and verse 53. Oh, thanks, Al. 41 and 53. Thanks,
Come. The book of Genesis, chapter 41 and verse 53. And the 7 years of plenteousness that was in the land of Egypt were ended.
Were what?
Were ended.
Read on, Al.
And the 7 years of dearth began to become according as Joseph had said.
Another word for dearth is what? Famine. Make sure that Bruce know and understand that. Highlight that. 7 years of dearth. Brothers shall be well equipped with this story of Joseph. Read on up.
Come. And the dearth was in all lands, but in all the land of Egypt there was bread.
But in the land of Egypt there was bread. Why? Because the Most High God put it on Joseph's spirit to do what? To prepare. And this is the same spirit that he's putting on us in these last days to what? To prepare. To make sure that, guess what? We're equipping ourselves to be nourished physically and spiritually for the coming of the end. Do brothers and sisters understand that? Read on now.
Come. Verse 55. And when all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh for bread. And Pharaoh said unto all the Egyptians, go unto Joseph.
Do what?
Go unto Joseph.
Go unto Joseph. Meaning the other nations, they're going to be looking for us for answers. Even right now when you see it on YouTube, you see, why ain't black people standing up for Mexicans? Why ain't black people doing this and that? Man, we've been doing that. That's right. Y'all don't consider that thing. What you think the Israelites are doing? And because we're not calling ourselves black people, they don't understand it.
And I was just going to say that because every time they see or they say what BHI, what does that mean? We always shut that down and cut that off. No, not BHI, because we are not black Hebrew Israelites. We are the Israelites, right? And we come on our shades of color. So yes, we've been standing up for our brothers, our Northern Kingdom brothers, since we've been doing this thing, man, and continuously will.
Read verse 55 again.
Come, verse 55. And when all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh for bread. And Pharaoh said unto all the Egyptians, go unto Joseph. What he said to you, do.
What he said to you, do. And guess what? Our people don't take it to heart. Because us, Joseph being the Israelites overall, guess what we telling our people? Keep the commandments. Have faith in Christ. We telling our people what they need to do to be able to be nourished in this time of famine, whether it be carnally or whether it be what? Spiritually. Jump over to Genesis chapter 41 and verse number 35.
Genesis,
Verse 34.
Genesis chapter 41 and verse 34.
Start at verse 33, Salaki.
Come. Genesis chapter 41 and verse 33. Now therefore, let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise.
And what?
And wise.
Read on up.
And set him over the land of Egypt.
And do what up?
And set him over the land of Egypt.
Meaning a man that's known to, guess what? Get things in order. That the Most High God is dealing with. And that's what the Most High, that's what the 144,000 is all about. Men that know to be wise and to get things in order. Read on up.
Come. Verse 34. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years.
So what do? In the plenteous years, they did what? They put back for a what? A rainy day. This is what brothers need to be thinking about, even with Brother Uriah's class on being what? Financially, managing yourself financially. Putting back when you have plenteous years in the time that you what? May not have plenty in the dark years, meaning in a time of famine. Do brothers and sisters understand that? Read on up.
Come, verse 35. And let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the city.
Read on.
And that food shall be restored to the land against the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt. That the land perish not through the famine.
So the Most High God is always doing what? Giving us answers on how do we need to conduct ourselves in a time of need. This is pivotal for our growth in this truth, man, because guess what? The people are going to be looking for us for the answers. And if brothers are not studied up, you're not going over these things, going over your notes, how can you give them the answers? Even for the sisters as well. By y'all understanding the scriptures, and more importantly, y'all being an example for the sisters. These things are pivotal. Pull up the one with the sister now. Video out.
This one? You sent me two. Unless she's on that same video.
Oh, we can get that. Yeah.
I didn't get that one.
He saw her too.
Yeah. Uh-huh. It's showing the other side of that thing too. Even play that right quick while you look for it.
Which one?
That with the Edomite. That one, yeah.
Fair use, fair use.
Fair use.
Because not only is it our people affected, but guess what? The Most High God is really doing this.
$2,800.
Go ahead, Salaki out. I'm good.
Down to $350. Stands from $2,800. Trump has cut my.
Because I ain't gonna lie, you rarely hear accounts of our people getting thousands, I'm talking about thousands of dollars in food stamps. This man said $3,000. That is a lot. See, just because we get Esau gets way bigger handouts than us, man. Don't be fooled by that, man. Remember, it's only because we're up under the curses that these proverbs and these bywords cling to us. Right. Where they put out false statistics saying that, guess what, we're the #1 recipients. Or when people think about food stamps, they think about us as the picture of that, as the poster child. Click on
Food stamps from $2,800 down to $350. I literally just got this piece of mail today saying that due to new policy changes from the Trump administration, all these cuts and whatever he's doing over there, now they're telling me I have to go work. Now I have to go do all this. Well, I literally got 5 kids. I'm trying to sit here and spend time with them. I'm not trying to go work, 50, 60 hours a week so I can pay bills.
When I saw that, I was like,
Well, whoop de do. You got a 5 children and you're trying to spend it with them. Well, whoop de do. How about that? You get a big fat whoop de do. Cause we've been trying to do that. Crazy.
That is. That's some crazy work. Go ahead, Doc.
Nah, I'm just speaking on that, man. You could have kept playing it, man.
Yeah, go ahead, keep playing, Doc.
Oh, okay.
On top of that.
Trump has cut my food stamps from $2,800 down to $350. I literally just got this piece of mail today saying that due to new policy changes from the Trump administration, all these cuts and whatever he's doing over there, now they're telling me I have to go work. Now I have to go do all this. Well, I literally got 5 kids. I'm trying to sit here and spend time with them. I'm not trying to go work, 50, 60 hours a week so I can pay bills.
when I saw that, I was like, this dude's got to be trolling, just trying to get some attention. It's not really a real video, but I found a follow-up video.
My previous video of me trying to expose all this corruption going on in the Trump administration, I got nothing but a bunch of hate for it. But at the end of the day, none of you guys know my situation, and most of you probably don't got 5 kids, and I've got 1 on the way. That's the issue. And if I need some help from the government, then what's the issue of me getting some help?
See, when people say that Americans don't want to work, that's not totally true, but it is somewhat true for guys like this. You got this big truck in the background, a dually, for what? You don't have no job. What are you doing in the dually? When I see a dually, I'm thinking about guys that actually work. You don't want to work. You got 6 kids, bro. I would be ashamed of myself as a man for sitting in the house doing nothing while I got 6 kids. And do you have a wife or you got baby mamas?
Trump.
Why didn't Officer Tate do a video on them? Right. Like, if you gonna be honest all around, man. Don't just be honest when it benefits you at the detriment of our behalf. Right. You can click out of that out. Let's go back to Genesis. Now, give me the one in Revelations, like Revelations chapter. Because whether we know it or not, we're being nourished by this devil. 12 and what? 16. Jump up to
14. 12 and 14.
yes, come on up. Read verse 13. Because we know that this is not a literal dragon. Remember, the Most High God uses what? Similitudes and metaphors to compare nations to particular type of animals. This animal, think about the attributes and the characteristics of a dragon. Very destructive. It burns down everything. They're red most of the time. These are the attributes of Esau. Read that out.
Come, the book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 13. And when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth,
Meaning brought down to a lower level. You got levels that has similitudes and metaphors as well. Heaven represents what? Rulership on the planet Earth, and the earth represents a lower level. Read on out.
come, when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth.
And people may think this is a joke, but it is some Edomites that look like that. You go out to the beach, but they be begging you for some sunscreen. No, you should have brought your own, man. Shouldn't even really be out here. That's why when we show these things, man, and our people still can't put the pieces of the puzzle, a lot of times it may not be formed, man. Because if you seeing these people and the blood shows forth through their skin, the Bible describes them as being red, and you still can't put the picture together, there's something wrong with you, man. Read on, huh?
Come, he persecuted the women which brought forth the man-child.
The woman, read it again.
The woman which brought forth the man-child.
The woman is a representation of Israel as a whole. But in the direct context is going into who? Mary. Right. When King Herod was trying to kill Christ as a baby. Read on up.
Come, into the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle. Eagle, Salaki, that she might flee into the wilderness.
That she might fly.
Salaki, that she might fly into the wilderness.
Read on.
Into her place.
Into her place. Read on.
Where she is nourished.
Where she is what?
Nourished for a time. And times. In half a time. For the face of the serpent.
So it's letting us know, even in these 2 verses, involves what? A lot of history. Brothers may read these 2 verses in the Bible as just 2 verses. No, this goes over hundreds and hundreds of years of time. Because that's going into when we fled into Egypt, and also when we was carried over here into the Americas. And then for that time, 350 years, times represents 100, and times represents 200, and half of a times represents 50. That's how you get 350 years. Brothers, write it down if you don't have it. Write that thing down. We done went over this before, but we kind of going back over it again. Yes, 350. Times, which is 100, and times, which is 200, and a dividing of times, which is 350. Half the dividing of times is 50. That times with an S represents 200. So we see who's been nourishing us, Esau. And we know sooner or later, hey, they're going to cut these things off. They are going to cut these things off. This also goes with what? Go to Deuteronomy chapter 28. 47, come. Yes. And a dividing of times. You don't understand it, twin? Times with an S represents 200. So when you see it, you have a time singular, which equals, I got it up, Brother Bilal, which represents 100, and times. You see that that times has an S that that first time doesn't have. That represents 200. So 100 plus 200 is what? 300. And a dividing of times. 50. So that's 350 years. And that's the approximate time that we have been over here in captivity. Starting from, they may say 1619. You know, but we also count that 1492, even including Northern Tribe as well. But we'll cover back over it after class. I just want to get through this part right quick. Go back to read that out.
Come. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 47. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemy.
Thine who?
Thine enemy.
Read on now.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
And because we didn't want to serve the Most High, now we're serving our enemies. Read on out.
Come. Therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things.
And in want of all things. Anything that we want or anything that we need, we have to do what? Go to the other nations for. Mainly Esau. There's no, like how we always break it down in layman's terms, meaning simple terms. Who owns the water company? And our people get simple. The government. Well, nigga, who owns the government? What nation of people is over the government? Because who's ever controlling the water supply, guess what? That's who's running things, man.
That's right.
When we want to die, we have to go to them to get buried. We don't own the land. You may have these black funeral homes that buying the land from, who do they buy the land from? And they still might be getting taxed on those things. You want to be a beautician, you want to be a barber, you want to be an electrician, you want to get any credentials, you have to go to them for these things, man. This is saying the same thing that we literally just read in the book of Revelation, being nourished for a time. That's who's nourishing us as a nation of people. Because we don't control the food, we don't control the water, we don't control agriculture, we don't control the military, we don't control the banks. We have to be getting these things from a nation of people, man. And the Most High God, guess what? He's going to crank up the heat, man. The Most High is going to crank up the heat, brothers and sisters, man. And that's what this class is for. Go to Psalms chapter 107 and verse 34.
Come. The book of Psalms, chapter 107 and verse 34. A fruitful land into barrenness, for the wickedness of them that dwell therein.
So we see how the Most High God will do what? He'll turn a fruitful land into barrenness because of what? The wickedness that his people do. Read it again from the top.
Come. The book of Psalms, chapter 107 and verse 34. A fruitful land into barrenness, for the wickedness of them that dwell therein. He turneth the wilderness into a standing water.
Read it again up.
He turneth the wilderness into a standing water.
And the Most High God can also, just like he's drying up the rivers, he can also do what? Make them run with water. All these things are in the power of the Most High God's hands, but it's with conditions. The conditions consists of what? Us keeping the commandments and having faith in the Most High. Read on up.
He turneth the wilderness into a standing water, and dry ground into water spring.
Read on.
And there he maketh the hungry to dwell, that they may prepare a city for habitation.
Read on.
And sow the fields, and plant vineyards, which may yield fruits of increase.
So these are the things that the Most High God promises to us if we abide by his laws. Read on.
He blesseth them also, so that they are multiplied greatly, and suffereth not their cattle to decrease.
Because we know ultimately when these things are in the hands of our oppressors, they don't care. They don't care whether or not you get those things or whether or not you get them, man. They just want to make sure that you are doing what? Continually to build up their empire, man. That's all that they care. And it's our job to have our people come out of that mindset. Give me Isaiah chapter 65 and verse 13. Start up at verse 11, Salaki.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 65, and verse 11. But ye are they that forsake the Lord, that forget my holy mountain, that prepare a table for that troop, and that furnish the drink offering unto that number.
This is going into the people that forsake the Most High. Read on up.
Therefore will I number you to the sword.
So it's a judgment that comes with that. Read on.
Therefore I will number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter.
Read on.
Because when I call,
Because when the Most High God sends his prophets out to the brothers and sisters that are out there in the streets. Read on.
When I called, ye did not answer.
People don't take it to heart. We can literally tell brothers and sisters, hey, you an Israelite. Hey, you a God's chosen people. And they say, what? We don't care. You know, and sometimes when they get crucial, they say F us. Thing is crucial. Read on up.
When I called, you did not answer.
Uh-huh.
When I spake, you did not hear.
When we telling our people that guess what? You can't celebrate Halloween. It's of the devil. But what about the kids? My kids need trick-or-treat candy. This is when the Most High God is calling and they are not answering. Read on up.
But did evil before mine eyes.
They done did evil. You celebrate Halloween. You celebrate Christmas. You celebrate Thanksgiving. That is doing evil before the eyes of the Most High. And you put off the Feast of Dedication. You put off the Feast of Tabernacles. You put off Passover. Read on up.
And did choose that wherein I delighted not.
Read on.
Therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, my servant shall eat.
So it's a judgment for brothers and sisters that are on these particular EBT snaps program. When the Most High God called you and you didn't answer, now that guess what? His real servants, what's the precept for servants? Any brother? Precept for servant. Isaiah 44 and 1, which are the Israelites, the elect men of Israel that keep the commandments. Read on.
Therefore thus said the Lord Yahweh, behold, my servant shall eat.
Read on.
But ye shall be hungry.
Read on.
Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty.
Read on.
Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed.
Just think about it in that day when the Most High God plays it back in their mind. Hey, I didn't know, Lord. Hey, you were damn loud. And play it back in their mind and have particular groups teaching them who they were according to the Bible, teaching them his laws. They're going to be ashamed in that day, man. They're going to be ashamed, brothers and sisters. And this is the thing that we want prudent brothers and sisters to be thinking about right now. That day, that ultimate judgment of the Lord, how you going to feel? How you going to fare out in that time? When you knew that you weren't supposed to be in adultery, in fornication, eating unclean foods, doing the things that you know damn well that the Most High God told you not to do, how you going to feel in that day? Go ahead, Al. You got something? Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5. Hold that precept. Coming right back. Say this, spirit up. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, and verse 1.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5 and verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labor.
Because the other nations, they're not going to make any account of the labor that we put in this truth, man. Even the wicked of our people. Start up at chapter 4 and verse 18.
Come. The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4 and verse 18.
Stop Salaki, verse 17.
Verse 17. For they shall not see the end of the wise.
Read it again. For they shall see.
For they shall see the end of the wise.
So they going to see the end of the wise, man. The wise is the ones that do what? Keep the commandments of the Most High. Read on.
And shall not understand what Yahweh in his counsel had decreed of him.
That's some heavy stuff right there, man. They ain't going to understand it in that time, man. Man, you mean to tell me they had to wear fringes? You mean to tell me the Most High God chose them because they didn't eat pork? Yes. That's exactly what it's saying, because the Most High God gave us the blueprint. Read on up.
Come. And to what end the Lord had set him in safety.
And to what end have the Most High God set for him in safety, man? That safety is going into this famine, man. That safety is going into being killed by the sword, being saved from Jacob's trouble, being saved for the kingdom. Read on up.
Come. They shall see him and despise him, but Yahweh shall laugh them to scorn.
Read on.
And they shall hereafter be a vile carcass and a reproach among the dead forevermore.
Read on.
For he shall rend them and cast them down headlong, that they shall be speechless, and he shall shake them from the foundation, and they shall be utterly laid waste and be in sorrow.
Read on.
And the memorial shall perish.
Read on. This is the point.
And when they cast up the accounts of their sins, they shall come with fear, and their own iniquities shall convince them to their face.
That's some heavy stuff as well. Because the Most High God is going to show you exactly how you've been going off, man. He's going to play it back in your mind and make you literally see and ultimately make you feel those things, man. Now keep reading out.
Chapter 5 and verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation.
Read on.
So far beyond all that they look for.
Because you can already see that thing, man. You mean to tell me those Negroes, those blacks, those Latinos really were the people of the Most High? That's the strangeness of our salvation. You mean to tell me them small hats ain't really the people of the Most High? Yeah, we've been telling y'all for generations and generations. But they didn't take it to heart, man. You got some more? Let's go back to Isaiah. Chapter 65 and read verse 14. Verse 13 again.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 65 and verse 13. Therefore thus said the Lord Yahweh, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry.
Read on.
Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty.
Read on.
Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be
You're
ashamed.
going to be ashamed in that day. Read on, huh?
Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit.
Think about it, man. When the children go hungry, that's a howl of vexation. And we pray that brothers and sisters don't have to go through that, man. Let's go to the book of 2 Kings chapter 6, verse 24. Any brother know what the book of 2 Kings is going into? Quickly. Any brothers know? It's an overall summary. The book of 2 Kings chapter 6, verse 24. This is going into Samaria being besieged. Make sure y'all write that as a footnote. Samaria being besieged. Samaria is who?
Northern Kingdom.
Northern Kingdom. So these are Israelites. It's going into the time of who? Elisha. Going into when we were at war with the Syrians. All nations nations have come against us. And it's all documented in our history. So when you start up at chapter 6, that's what that's going into. 2 Kings chapter 6, verse 24. What you got out?
So Second Kings, just the whole book is going into that? Or
No,
just
2
six?
Kings chapter 6.
Okay.
In this particular time, remember, 1st and 2nd Kings is just going into the southern and northern kings of Israel in general. Read that right quick, out. No, so I can read verse 8, then we'll jump back down to 24.
The book of 2 Kings chapter 6 in verse 8. Then the king of Syria warred against Israel.
Read on.
And took counsel with his servant, saying, in such a place shall be my camp.
So remember, all nations have always coveted the land of Israel. They have always did that. It's no different from the Syrians. And the Most High God left us a footnote because the name of that place today is still what? Syria. Showing you that these things are still true biblical places. This is how we have a footnote, even with him still having that name be as the Euphrates River. He leaves us footnotes in time to let us know and to go and research these particular areas. Pull up Syria. So we know, yeah, Syria, not Assyria. Besieged, Samaria besieged. Now you just pull up the map.
Oh, that one right there?
No. Take off besieged. Yeah, we just want to see the map of Syria. Just to give brothers and sisters the location. So we see Israel down at the bottom, which is a lie. Y'all don't pay attention to the landmarks, because according to the scriptures, the land of Israel is all the way over to the river Euphrates, all the way to the Mediterranean. This is literally all of Syria. So Syria really is upwards. But we see in this time, this is where Syria is. And this place is still Syria today. You know, they have no love for us at all as well. We know more and more that Syria is aligning themselves with Russia, you know, to bring about more destruction in that particular area. Just want to make sure that brothers and sisters understand these particular places. Because remember, the thought is to remove all history and geographical locations from our memory. So when we look at these particular places, we can't relate to these things. We think that only white people and Ishmaelites dwell over here. No, this was our homeland before homeland. Do brothers and sisters understand that? Jump down to verse 24.
2 Kings chapter 6 and verse 24. And it came to pass after this, that Benhadad, king of Syria, gathered all his hosts and went up and besieged Samaria.
So they took it upon themselves to besiege Samaria. And we know that the Most High God was bringing judgment on them for a time because of the wickedness and idolatry that they dwelt in. Read on.
And there was a great famine in Samaria.
Read that again.
And there was a great famine in Samaria.
So it goes back to what we were saying. There was always famines in the earth. From the beginning of time all the way up until this time, which is the end. Read on.
And there was a great famine in Samaria. And behold, they besieged it.
They what up?
They besieged
They
it.
took it. Read on up.
Until an ass's head was sold for 4. It's like for 4 pieces of silver, and the 4th of a cob of doves, dung for 5 pieces of silver.
Now, this is an idiom. An idiom is something that is like a parable within a parable. So what this parable is going into, to let you know how serious that famine was, these are particularly what? Unclean things to eat. These are unclean foods priced at extraordinary high prices, to show you how detriment this famine was. Think about it. Are you gonna eat a donkey's head or dung from a dove? Think about these things. An idiom, a group of words established by uses as having meaning not deductible from those of the individual words. So it's always like a meaning within a meaning. This is showing you how bad the famine was. Do brothers and sisters understand it? We're not eating, donkey is not even lawful for us to eat. Think about eating a dung from a dove. A dove is lawful to eat, but who wants to eat the doo-doo from a bird? And then at these particular prices, that's like you buying, I would say, $1,000 to eat a pork chop sandwich. Think about it, man. This lets you know how detriment this famine was. Keep reading now.
Come. And as the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall,
So we had the northern king of Israel. Read on up.
there cried a woman unto him, saying, Help, my lord, O king. And he said, If the Lord do not help thee, when shall I help thee?
He said, if the Lord can't help you, how can I help you? Read on up.
Out of the barn door, or out of the winepress? And the king said unto her, What aileth thee?
The barn door is going into foods in the barnyard, and the wine press is going into the wine that comes from the wine press, the grapes. You brothers and sisters understand that?
Come.
Read on.
And the king said unto her, What aileth thee?
What's your problem? Read on.
And she answered, This woman said unto me, Give thy son, that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow.
This is showing you how detriment this famine was. Sister was saying, give me your son. Because think about it. A lot of times think about rulers. A lot of times they are okay in certain predicaments because they have plenty as being that they are what? The king. Right. So she's saying, no, you need to take on some of this burden and some of this famine that we are feeling. Let me eat your son today and then we'll eat mine tomorrow. This is going back to what? Deuteronomy chapter 28. Let's get that right quick. And 53, I'll start up at verse 52 though. That's why we always tell brothers that the curses are what? Reoccurring. They're like a ring. They go on and on whenever we break God's commandments. It's not just in 586 BC. It wasn't just in 70 AD. No, these things are reoccurring. 52.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 52. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates, until thy high and fenced walls come down, wherein thou trusted.
Read on.
Throughout all thy land.
Because we trusted in the walls instead of trusting in the Most High. Read on up.
And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates, throughout all thy land, which the Lord thy God hath given thee.
Read on.
And thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body, the flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters.
Read on.
Which the Lord thy God hath given thee. In the seed.
In the what?
In the seed.
Read on up.
And in the straightness, wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee.
So it came upon in time, man, where we had to actually do what? Eat our children. Why? Because for one, they were starving. You can't imagine seeing the pain and anguish on a child when they don't eat. Think about it. You know, fathers and mothers will do anything for their children to get them something to eat, man. You hungry? Hey, what? But to know in that time that you can't do anything, that's a painful, painful death. And this is the same thing that the sister was coming to the king of Israel with on, man. Read on, huh?
Deuteronomy?
Yeah.
You want 54?
Yeah, 54.
Come, verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you, and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and towards the remnant of his children, which he shall lead.
Which he shall what?
Which he shall lead.
So even in 54, we understand more and more context behind that. The tender and delicate man. Meaning you ain't even so stingy you ain't want to share with your fellow neighbor, man, during those particular times, man. Read on up.
Verse 55. So that he would not give to any of them of the flesh of his children.
Read that part again, up.
So that he would not give to any of them of the flesh of his children.
Read on up.
Whom he shall eat, because he had nothing left him in the siege, and in the straightness wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in all thy gates.
So when we see this, when we go back to the book of 2 Kings chapter 6 and verse 25, 26, this is making reference to, guess what? This prophecy playing out at this particular time. Go back to 2 Kings chapter 6 and verse 26. Make sure y'all put what? Deuteronomy chapter 28 verses 52 through. This is just one account. You have many accounts throughout the scriptures where this applied to us. Go back to 2 Kings chapter 6 verse 26.
Come. The book of 2 Kings chapter 6 and verse 26. And as the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, Help, my Lord, O king. And he said, if the Lord do not help thee, when shall I help thee? Out of the barn door or out of the winepress? And the
Born floor.
oh, barn floor, Salakia. Or out of the winepress.
Meaning the food or the drink. Read on.
And the king said unto her, what aileth thee? And she answered, this woman said unto me, give thy son that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow.
Going back to what? Deuteronomy chapter 28, verses 52 down on down. Read on up.
So we boiled my son and did eat him.
Read on.
And I said unto her on the next day, give thy son that we may eat him. And she had she had hid her son.
Y'all see what she did? They ate his son, but when it came time for her son, she hid him. Going back to what we literally just read in verse 54, Deuteronomy 28, 54. This brother helped you out, but when it came time, then guess what? You didn't help out this brother. And we have to remember this same mindset when things kind of hit the fan. That's why we always going over these scriptures on being unified, because we always pose this to brothers. Let's say we have to be held up in there for a period of time. You got a brother, you got a sister harboring some nuts up in there. Yeah, for real. Damn. Harboring. No, they ain't getting these nuts. I'm gonna tuck mine in. Tuck that thing in. Think about it, man. We want brothers and sisters, because we joke about these things, but these things are serious matters. To where we need to be unified as one nation, especially in those particular times, because it may come down to that we may have to ration out what little a brother or sister may have. You brothers and sisters understand that? Go ahead, Doc.
And we understand that this is what the Lord is doing for us for our hurt, right? The famine, everything that the Lord is putting upon us is to hurt us, right? But when we identify what's going on, it kind of heals us to be able to preserve through it. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah 24 and start at verse 9. Right? These things are to come upon us and hurt us. Taking away stamps, the sword, the famine, all these things is to hurt the children of Israel, right? But when we would identify what's going on, we're able to see what's going on now. What we kind of take away that. That's what the Lord is telling us. This will be our this what your ease is in this captivity, right? This is where your strength lies, because now you're able to see the plagues and the games that Esau plays on us, the tricks. Start at verse 9.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 24 and verse 9. And I will deliver them to be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth for their hurt.
For what?
For their hurt.
Read on.
To be a reproach and a proverb.
To be a reproach and a proverb. Read.
A taunt and a curse.
A taunt and a curse. This is what these things are upon us for. Read.
In all places, whither I shall drive them.
In all places. So you best believe the Israelites in what? Over there in China, they're going through the same thing, right? The Israelites over there in Syria and Russia right now are going through the same exact things, man, if not worse, right? Because it said in all places. Read 10.
Verse 10. And I will send the sword, the famine, and pestilence.
The sword, the famine, and pestilence. These all things, these three things go together. Right. See, this is what this is about. It goes together. These are all three combined in one. The sword, the famine, and the pestilence, right? These are the three things like I brought out. This is what the Lord continually sends upon us to keep us what? Putting this in the situation that we're in because of us not obeying the Lord, the laws of the Most High God. The sword, the famine, and the pestilence. Read.
And the pestilence among them, till they be consumed.
Till they be what?
Till they be consumed.
Sound like the curses. Like I said, these curses are reoccurring, right? Until we be consumed. They were on our ancestors, right? Like we said, we seen our grandmother struggle. We seen our great-grandmothers and fathers struggle. Now the struggle is upon us, right? Read on.
Till they be consumed from off the land that I gave unto them and to their fathers.
Jump back to Psalms 107 because in verse 39. Because this seems like the same exact thing that's the same. When we see this, we want to make sure we put it together. Psalms 107 and I started, I think 39. Yeah, he stopped at 38. Let's read verse 39.
The book of Psalms, chapter 107 and verse 39. Again, they are minished and brought low.
They are diminished. What does diminish mean? Diminished, right? Saying the same, this diminished. They are diminished means they are diminished, right? We are brought low. We are on a lower state. Read.
Again, they are diminished and brought low through oppression, affliction, and sorrow.
Oppression, affliction, and sorrow. Sound like the same three things we just read. What did we just read in Jeremiah 24 and 20? Sword, famine, and pestilence, right? Here in Psalms it says that what? Through what? Oppression, affliction, and sorrow. Lump them together, because that's the same thing. When you see oppression, affliction, and sorrow, you're seeing the sword, the famine, and pestilence, right? So make sure y'all put those two together. And every time we see that, that way you can put that and understand that goes together, right? So the Lord is putting his hurt upon us. The sword, famine, and pestilence, which is also what? The oppression, affliction, and sorrow that we're going through today, man. So just precept that together. That's pretty much it. You can go back to it.
Let's go back to 2 Kings. Yeah, let's go back to
Let's go back to 2 Kings chapter 6 and verse 30 out.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 6 and verse 30. And it came to pass, when the king heard the words of the woman, that he rent his clothes.
He made him feel some type of way. Read on out.
And he passed by upon the wall, and the people looked, and behold, he had sackcloth within upon his flesh.
Read on out.
Then he said, Yahweh do so, and more also to me, if the head of Elisha, the son of Shaphat, shall stand on him this day.
Read on out.
But Elisha sat in the house, and the elders sat with him. And the king sent a man from before him. But Gur, the messenger, came to him. He said to the elders, See ye how this son of a murderer has sent to take away mine head. Look, when the messenger cometh, shut the door, and hold him fast at the door. Is not the sound of his master's feet behind him?
Read on out.
And while he yet talked with them, behold, the messenger came down unto him. And he said, Behold, this evil is of the Lord.
Read it again out.
Behold, this evil is of the Lord.
We have to understand that, man. We have to understand that the evil that, guess what, we go through as a nation of people is from him. But it's also because of what? Us not keeping the commandments. Yes, the Most High God creates evil. Christians still hadn't figured this out, man. They thinking it is literally actually the devil. Some red man underground, they still don't know who this red man is. No, this red man is on top of the ground. And the Most High God is using him, man. And we still can never put the pieces of the puzzle together. Read verse 33 again, huh?
Verse 33 from the top. And while he yet talked with them, behold, the messenger came down unto him. And he said, Behold, this evil is of the Lord.
Read on.
What should I wait for the Lord any longer?
It says, what should I wait for the Lord any longer? Then when you go into chapter 7, this goes ultimately into what? Prophecies of plenty. Meaning when the Most High God bring about a dirt, guess what? He always comes back and do what? Restores his nation. Right. Nourishes his nation. That's the mercy, that's the grace that the Most High God always has for us. Read verse 7 and 1. Chapter 7, verse 1.
Chapter 7 and verse 1. Then Elisha said, Hear ye the word of the Lord. Thus said the Lord, Tomorrow about this time shall a measure of fine flour be sold for a shekel.
Meaning what? Prices will be very cheap. And it'll be very easy for you to buy food. Read on out.
In 2 measures of barley for a shekel.
Read on out.
In the gate of Samaria.
So we see where the Most High God is doing what? Ultimately restoring Samaria and giving them grace and mercy. Read on.
Then a Lord on whose hand the king leaned.
When it says on whose hand the king leaned, meaning he what? He went to him for counsel. Because think about it. When you lean your hand upon a brother's shoulder, you're trying to get his attention. Do brothers and sisters understand that? Read on up.
Answered the man of God and said, Behold, if the Lord would make windows in heaven, might this thing be? And he said, Behold, thou shalt see it with thine eyes, but shall not eat thereof.
So we see ultimately the Most High God opened the windows of heaven. So while the Most High God ultimately, guess what, brought Samaria back, he did what? He destroyed the other nations, especially Syria. And this is what this chapter is going into. When we jump down to verse 16.
Verse 16.
Make sure that brothers and sisters go back and read this in their time. Read this out.
Verse 16. And the people went out and spoiled the tents of the Syrians. So a measure of fine flour was sold for a shekel.
It says, so they spoiled the tents of the Syrians, because when you read in verses 3 through 11, it was lepers that came into the camp. And the Most High God deserted that camp. Read on out.
Come. So a measure of fine flour was sold for a shekel, and 2 measures of barley for a shekel, according to the word of the Lord.
Remember, the prophecy started in what? Verses 1 and 2. In verses 16, we see where it was fulfilled. Read on.
And the king appointed the Lord, on whose hand he leaned, to have the charge of the gate. And the people trode upon him in the gate, and he died, as the man of God had said, who spake when the king came down to him.
So we ultimately see the prophecy that Elisha prophesied ultimately came to pass. And this is a lesson for brothers and sisters, because they thinking that the prophecies that we teach out there are not going to happen. We slowly but surely starting to see these things happen. Give me Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3. We're slowly but surely seeing these things transpire, man. And the thing is, we have to constantly watch in the TV, like watching Al Jazeera's, because we know a lot of times CNN, Fox News, they'll desensitize these things and won't make these things look as bad as they really are. So rules have to be on top of these things on world news. Read that out.
2 and 3.
Yeah.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time.
It's yet for an appointed time. The Most High God said it's going to happen. We got to learn to be patient, pray, fast on these things, man. Read on.
But at the end,
But
at the end,
But at the end, what are we in now, brothers and sisters? The end. Read on.
it shall speak.
It shall speak. Many of these prophecies are coming to fruition, man, as we are speaking. Read on up.
And not lie.
And not lie. These things are going to happen the way the Most High God said that these things are happening. So we take that as being prudent men and prudent sisters on how we see during the time of the Syrians when they besieged our brothers from Samaria. We see even to now that, guess what, it's a strong possibility that, guess what, these things are going to happen again. It wouldn't take time. Why do you think Trump is doing with this military, going into all the so-called inner cities? Do we think this, but not? No, they're literally planning these things, man, and seeing how, putting these things out to see how these things are going to work. And then guess what? Start to upscale these things, man. Because why they not doing it in all cities that have high crime rates? Why is it just so-called inner cities? And inner cities is a dog whistle term for basically blacks and Hispanics. That's all that it is when you see on CNN and Fox News when they're talking about inner cities.
Democratic cities.
That's right, or democratic cities. Read on out.
Come. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. But at the end it shall speak.
Read on.
And not lie.
And not what?
And not lie.
Read on out.
Though it tarry.
Though it tarry, though the Most High God haven't came yet, meaning what? Be patient. Read on.
Wait for it.
Do what up?
Wait for it.
We gotta be patient, man. Because guess what? God ain't know. We ain't know. We on the Most High God's time, man.
Right, that's right.
Think about it, man. Think about it, brothers and sisters made decisions like this, man. We probably wouldn't even get 44,000. Nah, I'm tired, man. Nah, come on, I'll do with 39,000. We'll worry about the other 100 and some thousand people later on. No, we got to have patience when we deal with our people, because just because a brother or sister didn't receive it at that specific time when you was trying to wake them up to the truth, don't mean that, guess what, they not going to wake up. Because it tells us at the last trump, brothers and sisters will be waking up. So we have to lead those things in the cause of the Most High God hand. Let's go to the book of Luke. Luke 20. verse 8. Remember, Luke chapter 21 precepts were what? Matthew chapter 24.
Mark 13.
Mark 13, come. Read this out.
The book of St. Luke, chapter 21, and verse 8.
Brothers don't have it, write it down. Y'all should have these precepts.
And he said, take heed that you be not deceived.
Don't be deceived in these last days, man. Even though we seen where they said they was going to cut it off, put up there, what you need, Well, be disturbing my people, man. Who asked the question? 'Cause I need my cameraman on point. Even pull up, judge said that they told Trump to release SNAP benefits. What you need, Brother Bilal? You need something? Or you just having knocked out?
I was, Mark 13 and what? The whole chapter.
Yeah. Go back up, you had it. Right there. It says U.S.
8 and 9, but yeah, the whole chapter. Mark 13, 8.
Let me,
Yeah, let me read that title.
yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. Says U.S. Yeah, go to school, bro. It says U.S. judges say Trump administration must continue food aid during the shutdown. It's some heavy stuff. The Most High God is stirring up spirits. We have a shutdown. You got benefits running low. You got military people need to be paid. You had somebody offer, I think it was, what's his name, the richest guy? What's that dude's name? Elon. One of those rich peoples, they gave $20 million to pay the military. I'm knowing that's not nowhere near enough for that. But you see all these things slowly but surely starting to crumble, man. It says Trump administration cannot suspend food aid used by 42 million income Americans. Think about that. We only make up 13, 14% of the population, man. You know, majority of those people are Trump supporters.
Right.
This is how the Most High God is working on these things, man, using Satan to be divided against Satan, man. Because that's going to start, guess what? Them putting the pressure on Trump. We ain't seen Trump, he done did all type of foolish stuff. And guess what? He done survived it. But we know that the Most High God is going to eventually start tightening that vice grip on him, man. It says the ruler said the government must pay the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, which is an acronym for SNAP, using emergency funds. Responding on social media, President Donald Trump said he has instructed government lawyers to ask the courts how the administration could legally fund SNAP. So he know if he don't do that, the majority of his people gonna start coming at him. I ain't gonna lie, this is how the Most High God, once he has you in a trick bag. Where they mean evil for us, but the Most High God mean it for good, man. Let's get that precept. Let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 49. These people mean evil unto us. But with the Lord on our side, he'll always make a way, man. And that's the faith that we got to have. So like the book of Genesis chapter 50 and verse 20. Go to verse 19, so like it.
The book of Genesis, chapter 50, and verse 20. Oh, it's like verse 19. And Joseph said unto them, fear not, for am I in the place of Yahweh? But as for you, ye thought evil against,
Ye thought what up?
evil against, read on up, but Yahweh meant it unto
But
good.
the Most High God means these things unto good. What is the good that's meant? To divide this country more and more. That's what it's meant to be. Read on up.
Come, to bring to pass, as it is this day, to save much people alive.
To do what up?
To save much people alive.
Because remember, even when the Most High God was doing the plagues upon us, the children of Israel was safe in the land of Goshen. We were safe. But we see the interactions that, guess what? A lot of our people that don't want to get with God's program, they gonna get caught up in the mix, man. And we don't want brothers and sisters to be a part of that, man. That's why it's our job to do what? Warn the people. That's what our job is. You got something out? Let's go to the book of,
Yeah, Luke.
yeah, go back to Luke, Connor. Yeah.
The book of St. Luke, chapter 21 and verse 8. And he said, take heed that you be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and the time draweth near. Go ye not therefore after them.
So we seeing these things taking place, read on out.
But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions,
We seeing this taking place, read on.
be not terrified,
Don't be terrified of these things, read on.
for these things must first come to pass.
Why must they come to pass? Because the Most High God is doing it on our behalf for our salvation. That's going into 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, chapter 16. Read on out.
But the end is not by and by.
Read on.
Then said he unto them, nation shall rise against nation,
We're starting to see the interactions of that. Read on.
and kingdom against kingdom.
We're starting to see that. We even have, like the brothers was breaking out, Trump testing thermonuclear weapons down. Come on, man. We right here. We got to hold the lines, brothers and sisters, man. Then you think he's testing those things for? Because eventually the Most High God is going to put it on their spirit to use those things. Read on now.
Come. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines,
And famines. Read on up.
and pestilence,
And pestilence. We just literally seen that with the monkeys that we was talking about. We have to be careful about the words that we use because we don't want them to flags. So we just use the words of the Bible. With experimental monkeys and so on and so forth. Leaking out pestilence. Even accounts of those things even before they happen. Because remember, Esau is always going to be a provocator. A provocator is someone that causes a problem. That causes a problem because they're trying to test the waters to see how certain agendas are going to play out. And is it going to go according to plan? We can't be ignorant of these things, man. You brothers understand that. Even with this, we seeing this on here. And this is well known. You know, they'll do a clip on it, but they won't go extensively into these things. This falls up under pestilence. Go ahead,
Let's get a precept. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 56. I'm going to read down from verse 5. What did you call the word you just used, man? I always call them problems a great word, man.
Provocator.
A provocator, man. That's a great word for them, man. They are a provocator. And it's like, how can you believe someone or somebody that the son don't even like? I mean, it's just crazy. Hey, the son love us. The son is one of our friends, man. When you need some strength, when you need a little power, a little energy, go sit out in the sun. And see how that sun do for you. It's gonna get you right. You like it's hot, but you go be like, well, I'm ready to go now, right? But I can't believe they are definitely a provocator. But read Psalm 56, start at verse 5.
The book of Psalms, chapter 56 and verse 5.
We'll start at verse 4.
Come, Psalm chapter 56 and verse 4.
Bring it out.
In Yahweh will I praise his word. In Yahweh I have put my trust.
Read.
I will not fear what flesh can do unto me.
Read on.
Every day they rest my word.
Every day they rest my words. This is their provocator that we're speaking of. Every day they rest my words. Read.
All their thoughts are against me for evil.
Every thought of the heathen nations are for evil upon us, man. You might think that SNAP was good, right? We thought that SNAP was good for us. But in the whole time, it was to what? Get you to what? Be stagnant against them, and then sooner or later it's going to take it away and show you how much you need them, right? And guess what? What if they told us, a few people, hey, you had to go do this and do that in order to get SNAP back?
Correct.
Go kill, go shoot up a Israel. I mean, you just never know, man. They are so stagnant on that they will probably do it, man. Everything that they put in play is for evil against us. Read.
Come. They gather themselves together. They hide themselves.
They do what?
They hide themselves.
They hide themselves. See, Trump and them try to hide themselves behind their evil doings there, right? They try to make it seem like, oh, well, it's not my call, it's something else. They try to say that we are in debt. How is a country that prints their own money in debt, right? Like I just said, how can Elon Musk send $20 million to help pay while we have this government funding? Well, you can't help our people that's down, decayed in these states that they're living in, man. Right? All the poverty that's going on, we can't help on that at all. Though. But you got a cool 20 just sitting around to say, yeah, put that there. I got a cool 20 mil. Yeah, get that to them. Help pay them, yeah. But we got poverty that we can't even. We got people in poverty that actually are trying that can't. Whether it be what, no matter what it be, man. Read on.
Come. They mark my steps when they wait for my soul.
They wait for our soul. They mark our steps and then they wait for our soul. See, everything we do is a calculated step for them, right? They mark your steps. We are nothing but guinea pigs to America, man. Right? We are nothing. What do you use the guinea pig for? Testing. That's how they mark our steps. We're gonna see when we take snaps. We're gonna see how hard it hurts these people and what they'll be capable or able to doing because of this, right? They hunt and mark our steps. Read on.
Come. Shall they escape by iniquity?
Shall they? Shall they escape by the wickedness they're doing us? Read on.
Come. In thine anger cast down the people, O Yahweh.
Read on.
Thou tellest my wanderings. Put thou my tears into thy bottle. Are they not in thy book?
And a lot of people seem to think that the Most High God is not upset, man. Like the Most High God just letting this thing play out. Well, if y'all serve a God, how he letting y'all stay on the bottom of society? How is he letting y'all stay being put on the bottom of the earth? Like what? The Lord is still angry as well, but like I just said, the Lord moves differently than what we do. We ready to get the hey, let's get the 144 right now. Let's just pick them, damn it. Hey, you, let's go. Right? Fight for the Lord. The Lord is angry, but he's patient. Read.
Come. When I cry unto thee, then shall my enemies turn back.
When we cry unto the Lord, that's when our enemies are going to turn back. It's not that pestilence and the famine and sword is going to stop. It's that you're going to be able to understand it and identify it and to be able to move according to what's going on. Right? Then when I cry unto the Lord, what do you do when you cry unto the Lord? You seek his face. You're praying, but you're not just crying as a nigga, right? You're going back as an Israelite. You're coming back to your nationality. You're coming back to the law, statutes, and commandments. Now when I cry unto the Lord, read.
Come. My enemies turn back.
Then they turn back. We're able to what? Identify the plagues that they put upon us. Read.
This I know, for Yahweh is for me.
Read on.
In Yahweh will I praise his word. In the Lord will I praise his word. In the Lord will I praise his word.
So this is just a prayer that we know David is sending, but it's also understanding, man, right? It shows you what they are doing, what they are capable of doing, and what they are trying to do to us. They're trying to keep us docile. They're trying to test us out to see how we react to this. COVID come out, how that reacts. Shutdown, we're going to see how that does them. Taking snap, we're going to see what that do for them. All right? But the Lord said when we cry to him, this is when he heals us and comforts us through the sword, famine, and destruction.
That's right.
Go ahead.
That's a great precept I brought out. Let's go to Job. We're going to go back to Luke, but let's go to Job chapter 5. Verses, what you say? Who said? Officer Barakai got it in the spirit. Verse 12. Start at verse 11. Because the thing is, the landing back off of what Captain Yara said, we need that. We need the Most High God to overturn the counsels that they seek to get out of us. What we say, those, what is the word, for the secret councils, the modern term?
Think tanks?
Think tanks, thanks, Art. The think tanks that they have. Remember, Esau is never quitting on their evils. So for brothers and sisters that don't know, they have think tanks, meaning groups of nations that get together and think of ways to keep us in sin. So even how our neighborhoods is designed is not a coincidence. That's by design. From them check cash in place, debt places, unclean foods, catfish places, wine bottle places. Think about these things. When you go to that same neighborhood, these is all the reoccurring things. Never no good paying jobs around. You always have Ishmael with them damn dirty stores. Dust all on it. Sometimes I'll be wanting to go in there and just dust off the damn chip aisle, man. And tell Ishmael, man, clean up this damn thing, man. You going to get them sodas to be so nasty in there. You think they care about getting that? Because they know ultimately our people going to Big T. Don't love that damn piece. No, I like a Tahitian treat. I look like, don't even want it. Man, get my piece and let me go, man.
That's right. It's just to the point where the canned sodas, man, be so dirty. I mean, it just, you don't even want to buy it. You'll say, well, give me a 20 ounce, man. Well, I'd rather pay the money
Hurry up and
for the
buy.
20 ounce, right? And it's all part of that because now you can get a 2 liter for $1.50, well, the 20 ounce costs you $3 and some change. All these things they plan, they are trying to see what are they buying, how they buying, and how they're spending their money. We can go get a 2 liter for $1.50. Huh? Talking about where? Hey, go when you come stores.
Family Dollar.
Go in Family Dollar, going to these come stores in the hood. I guarantee you go to this come store right here. They got a stand of 2 liters for $1.50. Go in that freezer and get that cold 20 ounce out. Yeah, $2.99, big homie. Yeah, with the tax. Let me get it. Go ahead.
Read that out.
The book of Job, chapter 5 and verse 11. To set up on high those that be low.
We don't.
That those which mourn may be exalted to safety.
Because we are the ones that are in mourning. Read on up.
He disappointed the devices of the crafty.
They are the crafty. And the devices that they hold is trying to think of ways to keep us in sin. Think about it, even with Halloween, promoting this candy, promoting Halloween as fall festival. Think about these things. Read on up.
He disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise.
Read on.
He taketh the wise in their own craftiness.
Don't think that the Most High God is not fighting for us, man. There's a lot of things that go on in the dark that the Most High God is overturning. Don't think that they ain't been trying to do way more stuff than that, man. But the Most High God has the angels protecting us, man. Go ahead, up.
Their enterprise is going into their plans. Right?
That's right.
So it said that they can't perform their enterprise, their plans, what they plan for you. We are plan breakers, man, right? That's why they be so mad at us. Man, we got to think of another plan. They broke that one. They going to church on Saturday. They going to Sabbath. We got to get another device. Read on.
Verse 13. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong. They meet with darkness in the daytime.
Read it again,
They meet with darkness in the daytime.
So these crafty councils, these think tanks, they doing these things in the daytime. Think when they holding their morning meetings, going over these things. What you think ultimately what the UN is all about? We even had a so-called small hat lady really bring that up in the council. See if you pull it up, white lady in UN council about young black people. And you know who the young black people is. See if it'll come up.
That one had the tape, the video, and they didn't know.
I think they knew. Because she was talking, and it may be the case, but I think that they. That's the only way I could describe it, man.
Last year?
I think it was this year sometime. Just put Jewish lady addresses UN Council about young black people in America. UN Council. Now you got IL, CIL. young black America?
February?
Yeah.
Fair use.
Fair use.
Group, and also, what are sort of subtle ways that we're being racist to people? I can share with you
Skip that
what I
now.
learned about years
Let me
ago.
see it. Skip it a
Here's
little bit.
something that I assumed.
It's not the.
We
No,
could
that's not
really
clear.
hear that you stare and point at us while we're walking.
Yes, that one. Let me see that one.
Peace, family. My name is
Skip it a
Nikki
little bit.
Miller. Thank you so
Very
much
good.
for tuning into African. Oh,
Yes,
it is
and
it.
Israeli consul.
All right, let me share.
This is what we're talking about. They meet with darkness in the daytime.
Official, making what appears to be some very disturbing, dangerous, and damaging statements about Black American youth in particular. I found this clip very important to discuss at this time because there's so much happening in our world, and we are supposed to have a very strong and democratic
generation. The problem of Israel is with the young generation of the Black community. Black Lives Matter starts.
It says the problem that Israel. Now, how in the hell can young black people over here in America affect anything what Israel has got going on?
Knowing we're the Jews.
That's the point right there. That's why they titled it Young Black. What the hell do you think they mean by young black? Israelites. But do you think that they're going to actually say that? They wouldn't give credence to that because then people will know what they're saying is true. And it gives validity to what we out there teaching on the streets. That's why she had to say that and frame it under young black Black Lives Matter. We ain't seen a young Black Lives Matter protest in I don't know how long. But you constantly seeing what? Young Israelites out there, the wild eyes out there. Read that again. Play that, click that again.
Is with the young generation of the Black community. Black Lives Matter starts there.
So just to give a little bit of context to what you're hearing, Judith Varn.
Even just seeing a clip of that, when you read the book of Psalms chapter 5, you kind of get more understanding of what this is going into. And I need brothers to be on point with this. That's why we always ask, what y'all see about it in the news? What y'all seeing going on in the world? Then you can link these things up with prophecies. That's why we love the Bible. No other book on the planet Earth is going to give the thoughts and mind of the other nations. Do brothers and sisters understand that? The Most High God is giving us insight on how they think. That's some heavy stuff. That's why this is the living book, the book of knowledge, man. You got something? Go ahead. Keep reading.
Come. Verse 14. Job chapter 5 and verse 14. They meet with darkness in the daytime, and growth in the noonday as in the night.
Read on.
But he saveth the poor from the sword.
The Most High God got a plan for all that. Brothers just got to hold the field, hold the line, man. Read on.
From their mouth and from the hand of the mighty.
Read on.
So the poor hath hope.
Read it again,
So the poor hath hope.
So the poor had hope. Read on,
And iniquity stoppeth her mouth.
And iniquity stoppeth her mouth, man. That's why it's so pivotal that we must keep the commandments, man. That's our only help in these last days, and faith in Yahushua. Go ahead,
And so you know by her saying that she wants more to be done or things to be put on young Black American youth right now. They want to put, well, since she's saying that, she thinks that guess what, we'll be able to see something bigger. Oh, well, yeah, that might be the problem. Because remember, America predicates to Israel, right?
That's right.
So now by Israel putting, oh, well, this is the reason or the problem with Israel, now what? More sanctions put on the young blacks, right?
Right.
But like you said, you won't put Israelites, you'll put young blacks because they know if it is Israelites put out there, then what? Now it's like, okay, well, they saying Bible is saying. But let's get another one. Go ahead.
Real quick. And that kind of put, even just in the spirit from right there, what Ox saying the date. This happened in February. What month are we in?
November.
So we know even by her saying that, then we're seeing all these police invade these major black cities. Brothers and sisters have to start putting the pieces of the puzzle together, man. That's why we say be watching and beware and be spiritual with that thing. A brother that city class, I don't see it. Nigga, you dumb. And you ain't thinking, man. And they not going to tell you the truth. They not going to tell you, but the Most High God does. Go ahead.
That's exactly right. Go to Nehemiah chapter 4. Start at verse 11. The same thing. We get the same account through the Bible of how their enterprises or their plans or plots be taken from naught by the Most High God, by the Spirit of the Most High God. Nehemiah 4, you can start at verse 11. Start at 9, just read down.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 4 and verse 9, bring down. Nevertheless, we made our prayer unto our God.
So even though they do this in their particular plots or persuasions or like this towards us, we do what? We pray to the Father, man. That's what we do. Our righteous prayers, we're praying, throwing our prayers to the Father for our nation of people. That's how heavy it is. Our young youths don't even understand. The so-called black nation doesn't understand how hard we are fighting for them as a nation of people, man. Because we know the righteous prayers are being heard. Those prayers pierce the clouds, right? So when we see these things, we pray to the Father that guess what? The next famine or the next persecution or the next affliction doesn't come upon us and hit us as hard as they would like it to. Read on.
Come. We made our prayer unto our God and set a watch against them day and night because of them.
And so we are now setting watch day and night. The same way that they are on their beds trying to make provisions to stop us and hinder us, we are now what? Reading, we're studying, right? Ox put classes out 2, 3 in the morning, right? We're trying to wake brothers up to the truth. We're trying to put you to bed with the truth, right? That's what we're doing now. Read.
And Judah said, the strength of the bearers of burdens is decayed, and there is much rubbish, so that we are not able to build the wall.
Read on.
And our adversaries said, they shall not know, neither see, till we come in the midst among them and slay them, because the work to see and cause the work to cease.
And cause the work to cease. They want this work that we are putting in right now to be ceased. That's right. Us going out to the streets teaching His word. That's why I said that famine, it's gonna come sooner or later. Whether it be what with the sword, how they what killing us more, right? Young so-called black youth being missing, coming up missing more and more each and every day. That's not being talked about, right? Taking the Bible away out of the school. I mean, it's just everything. These things all happen for that reason, man, right? We used to read, at least in school, we used to understand a little bit about a little bit of black history, right? We used to have a little bit of, when we were in school, we had a little understanding of it, right? It wasn't much, but we had a little bit. Now in these schools, you won't see anything about any history of us, man, at all, not 1%. We had at least about 5% back when we were growing up, right? They talked about these things. Now you won't see none of it. Read on.
Verse 12. And it came to pass that when the Jews which dwelt by them came, they said unto us 10 times from all places, when ye shall return unto us, they will be upon you. Therefore said I in the lower places behind the wall, and on the higher places, I even set the people after their families with their swords, their spears, and their bows.
And that's what we're doing now. We're setting our people up with the sword, with their swords, with what? The Bible, with the precepts, man. We're trying to set our people up to put them back into understanding, reading the Word of God for yourself, doing exactly what the Bible says. Christianity doesn't have any kind of understanding, or you can say understanding, towards us trying to what? Bring back the laws of the Most High God. When we tell our people that are Christianities to read for themselves, they still rely on who? Pastor, my pastor. Right? Or y'all don't know what y'all talking about, but yet they don't read the Bible. Read.
Verse 14. And I looked and rose up, and said unto the nobles, and to the rulers, and to the rest of the people, be not ye afraid of them. Remember the Lord, which is great and terrible, and fight for your brethren, your sons and your daughters, your wives and your houses.
These famines that they bringing upon us, that's what we're telling y'all. Hey, don't be afraid of these famines, man. Right? We are a nation that used to lean on each other for help, man. Right? And that's what we have to do. We have to be a nation of people coming back together, helping ourselves, man, not leaning and being stagnant toward them. Read.
Verse 15, and it came to pass, when our enemies heard that it was known unto us.
When the enemies hear that we are now coming into understanding, that we are now knowing what they're trying to do, we understand their popular persuasions. Read.
Come. And Yahweh had brought their counsel to naught.
And now that the Most High God is bringing their counsel to naught. That's right. Their enterprises are now not working on us, man. Right? They can't call it Fall Festival, and we say, well, we'll celebrate Fall Festival. We ain't celebrate no Thanksgiving, though.
Right.
I go to Fall Festival. Is that what you call it? Well, yeah, we can go to Fall Festival. But don't you think for a minute I'm going to Thanksgiving. I bet not. Oh, I ain't trick-or-treating at all. You calling it Halloween, I won't be there. But this Fall Festival, oh yeah, give me a little candy. All right? The Lord is bringing that counsel to naught because now we know the tricks that they play. You can try to change it all day long. But the fact of the matter is still that you are still celebrating these wicked days, man. Bringing spirits upon our people. Read.
Remember the Lord, which is great and terrible, and fight for your brethren, your sons and your daughters, your wives and your house. Read. And it came to pass when our enemies heard that it was known unto us, and Yahweh had brought their counsels to naught.
Read.
That we returned, all of us, to the wall, every one unto his work.
So we are now trying to return to our work. What is the works that we're trying to return to? The laws, statutes, and commandments, man. So now they see that these things are happening at a high rate. And then now what? The Sabbaths are being lessly used for monetary, right? That we are not using or I guarantee you can see they won't put this on her, but I know for a fact that they are seeing a drop, a decrease in money spent on these holidays.
That's right.
I know they are.
And they send an increase of money on certain holidays.
That's right. And this is why they want to call these days now Fall Festival. Right? That's a way that we can now try to get them back into doing this thing, right? But we ain't gonna call it Halloween no more. We know they trying to go down on Halloween. So what we'll do is now try to go into it's the average holiday spending expected to drop 5%.
That's right. That is. Give a hand clap for that thing, man.
Yes. That's right. But you don't see this being talked about. What they doing, they just at the house. Well, what can we call it? Well, what can we call Christmas? Instead of calling it, we're going to call it something else now, right? These are all their persuasions, but the Lord said what? But it says now, God brought their counsel to naught. We return to doing the work. So that's what we're trying to do, man. We're returning to put the work in for the Most High God. Go ahead, Doc.
Let's go to the book of Job. Last precept.
So make sure y'all precept that with that Job 5 and 12. That Nehemiah 4 and 15. God brought their counsels to naught. That's going into the same thing in Job, saying they brought their enterprises. They could not continue their enterprise.
Go back to the book of Job, chapter 5, verse 17.
The book of Job, chapter 5 and verse 17. Behold, happy is the man whom Yahweh corrected. Therefore despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty.
And we can't despise the chastening. Even when brothers and sisters are keeping the commandments, guess what? We still gonna catch a little hell. We're gonna go through some affliction. Don't be impatient with the Most High because he's doing that to do what? Ultimately strengthen us for the bigger affliction which is about to come, which is Jacob's trouble. Read on out.
Come. For he maketh sore and bindeth up. He wounded.
He what?
He wounded.
He done made brothers sore. Financially, physically, emotionally. But guess what? Ultimately, the Most High God heals those things up. Read on up.
In his hands make whole.
Read on up.
He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles.
Read on.
Yea, in 7.
Yea, in 7, in a complete of those things, brothers and sisters. Read on up.
There shall no evil touch thee.
Read on.
In famine.
In what up?
In famine.
Read on up.
He shall redeem thee from death.
So we shouldn't even be afraid of those things, man. Whether or not brothers and sisters are, because you do have some brothers and sisters that, guess what? That need help. But even like what Captain Yara said, that's what we're coming together as a nation for. If you need the help, reach out to brothers, man. It won't be nothing. That's why we have a food pantry in the building. That's what these things are for. That's why we give alms, to help do our things on our own and with the help of the Most High. So we don't have to depend on these other nations for nothing. Read on up.
Come. And in war from the power of the sword.
It said, in famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Read on up.
Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue. Neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh.
So we don't want to be afraid, man, no matter what they're saying on CNN, on Fox News, and on any of these media stations that are on TikTok as well. Read on.
And destruction and famine. Thou shalt laugh.
Thou shalt what?
Thou shalt laugh.
Read on up.
Neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth.
Because guess what? We might have to be out there. When Jacob's trouble hit the fan, be out there going from city to city with our tents. You never know what's in store for us. But we understand the things that did happen in the past, and we relate that up into modern day times. Read on up.
For thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field.
Read on.
And the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee.
So even if we have to be out there, the Most High God make the animals be at peace with us. Read on.
And thou shalt know that thy tabernacle shall be in peace.
In what up?
In peace.
Read on up.
And thou shalt visit thy habitation, and shalt not sin.
And with that, we say shalom. We always tell brothers and sisters to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. So we always bring out a law. What would be an appropriate law for today? Going into what?
The Lord turning the curses upon them.
That's a good one, but much more to what's going on today, or what happened yesterday. What was yesterday? Yeah. So we always know.
Wicked wing.
Wicked wing, like twins say. Say it again, see what I got. So this is the spirit that we need bruised in, because what y'all think we're going to encounter when we out there on the streets? So we need brothers to be up on the precepts. Up on the precepts. Say it again,
Deuteronomy chapter 70, verse 5.
Yeah, I want the one with the
18 and
necromancer.
10.
Say it again.
Deuteronomy 18 and 10.
Yeah, let's get that one.
Rock 7 and 1.
I don't know that one out of the heart. But we know.
Down to 12.
Yes, down to 12 ton out. So we know going into wizardry, necromancer, familiar spirits, charmers, these things are all pertain to Halloween. Read this right quick.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18 and verse 10.
Bring it out.
There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire.
Because when you partake in these wicked holidays, you're having your sons or your daughters continue that wicked tradition. You're making them pass through the fire. This is much more on the spiritual level. At this time, they was doing it on a physical level. Read on up.
Con. Or that useth divination, or an observer of time.
Read on.
Or an
Into the
enchanter.
zodiacs. Read on.
Or an enchanter, or a witch.
Or a witch. You know, they make witches likable. With the cartoons, you know, with the TV shows. Read on up.
Con. Or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits.
Read on.
Or a wizard, or a necromancer.
Read on up.
For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord. And because of these abominations, the Lord thy God doeth drive them out from before thee.
And with that, we say shalom. Need bruised to be